of the Vagina Monologues. I am Moravia. To my left here is Julie Peterman and Jan Roddy, and we are the current co-directors of the Women's Resource Center at the University of Montana. On this production as part of a global effort, otherwise known as V-Day, to bring an end to violence against men, women and men and children the world over. To bring the cause even closer to home, every year the Vagina Monologues benefit one local organization that exemplifies the feminist values of equality, respect, and support for all women. This year we are proud to be benefiting Mountain Home, Montana, which provides support, education, and housing for young mothers. We are lucky enough to have with us tonight Sherry Strachan, who is the Executive Director of Mountain Home, and we would like to welcome her to the stage now to talk a little bit more about the amazing organization that you are all donating to tonight.
Thank you all so much, and happy V-Day. I came to the Vagina Monologues when I was a freshman at the university, and I was actually in the basement of the Repertory Theater. So this is amazing that we're here in this beautiful theater where Sonic Youth is playing, and Matthew Sweet, and the Violet Bands, and so many amazing bands. It's a real honor for me to be here. And it's just an honor for me to be here on behalf of Mountain Home, Montana. I am the executive director of Mountain Home. I've only been the executive director for a year, so I'm still really fresh and green. I don't have my elevator speech completely down. But I am just so grateful to for your support. Ticket sales are going to benefit our programs. The silent auction is also benefiting our programs. For those of you who are not familiar with Mountain Home, we provide housing and supportive services to young mothers ages 16 through 24 who are pregnant and or parenting. We were established in August of 2000. We opened with a 3-bedroom house over near Community Medical Center on South Avenue. And we've grown to a system of care, providing 7 bedrooms in a house and an apartment building that has 5 apartments where the young women can practice independent living skills. The women that we serve are not simply victims of unrequited love, although there is plenty of that with our teen moms. But they're also, they were victims of child abuse and neglect when they were little. They almost all have mental illness. We are really happy that in 2013 we became a licensed mental health center with the state of Montana, and we're able to provide immediate therapy and support to these young women. We have an incredible staff. We have incredible interns, and I just, we really do partner a lot with feminist organizations in Missoula, family organizations in Missoula, and the University of Montana. So if you are interested in volunteering at an amazing organization that's really helping women discover their self-worth and be strong for the future for themselves and for their children, I would love to show you around Mountain Home sometime. And thank you again for coming out tonight.
Opportunity to thank you, because it's community members like you that make this production possible. Whether it's coming to participate in our fundraiser, Panty Rock Drag Show, or directly donating to this evening's festivities, as did all the amazing sponsors featured in your program tonight. You all made, not just tonight, but the success of the Women's Resource Center possible. We would like to formally thank the University of Montana Women's and Gender Studies Department and ASUM for sponsoring us tonight, as well as Denison Theater and their amazing technical crew for hosting this event. Also, thank you to our wonderful volunteers and cast. We really could not have done it without you guys. We also have a silent auction, which is located directly in the entry hallway, and this will run 30 minutes after the end of the show. So you can bid on some amazing gifts, which are generally donated from local artists and businesses. We would like to thank all of our silent auction donors, including Adam and Eve, Betty's Divine, Boom Swagger, Imperium Skincare, Fact and Fiction, Hide and Soul, Isa, Joseph Thompson, Lake Petite Otra, Missoula Children's Museum, Montgomery Distillery, The Book Exchange, The Depot, The Green Light, Upcycled, The Zach, and Zoo City Apparel.
Now, in addition to our sponsors, every year we take the time to honor some amazing people in our community who have made momentous efforts to advance human rights on marginalized people everywhere. Distinguished guests, allow us to bring up on stage this year's Equality Warriors, Bree Sutherland, Jane Reynolds, Robin Ettigan Ayers, Tarn Ream, and Julia Jackson. Bree Sutherland is the Executive Director of the Gender Expansion Project, who orchestrated the very first Gender Expansion Conference here in Missoula. We would like to honor her for her outstanding advocacy in our community.
I want to take this moment to really thank the Women's Resource Center. They approached me about 2 months ago and asked me to come here to be a part of this, and more importantly, they asked me my thoughts, because this has traditionally been the Vagina Warriors, and how to make this more inclusive, and they made it Equality Warriors. I honestly think that each and every one of you, in your own right, is an equality warrior. I think that each and every one of you has your own unique gender identity, gender presentation, and self-expression. And I feel that we could not do the work that we do as advocates and activists without all of your support and everything that you as individuals do. Thank you.
Jane, Robin, and Tarn organized 1 Billion Rising here in Missoula. They dedicated hard work and hours of time to bring this movement to our community, and we would love to honor them for all their dedication to ending violence against girls and women.
Wow, thank you so much. We are very honored and humbled to receive this award tonight. And today, as we have been talking about, is V-Day, this global day call to action and rise across the globe to bring awareness to issues of violence against women. And today at noon, some of you out there participated or got to see our giant flash mob in the University Center. So thank you so much for all of you who came out to bravely join us in dancing and taking strangers by surprise. So it was really fun. We joined over 200 countries today in performing that dance. So one thing that we all really like about this movement is how it enables us to connect on a global scale to women all over the world, and feel like we are contributing to positive awareness for issues that we really care about. So,
I don't have a lot to add, but Jane and I were talking about how we can't do any of this without our community. So I've been working in the community for years in Missoula, and just feel really honored to be here tonight and take part in this. And like Jane was saying, this is a global issue. If any of you had the chance to read Eve Ensler's book, In the Body of the World, it was very, very poignant for me as a cancer survivor, and also as somebody who works teaching African dance. She really, I think, I have to think that she was really inspired with this whole dance thing in the Congo, where she works extensively. And so for me, it kind of brings things full circle, and I'm really proud and honored to be here and sharing all of this with all of you tonight. So thank you.
advocate for women's rights internationally. She spent part of last year teaching and mentoring young women in Rwanda through the Rwanda Girls Initiative. We would like to honor her for her service in Rwanda and in our community.
Thank you guys so much. This is a really awesome honor. And so when I lived in Rwanda, it was an incredible experience. I got to meet some of the most inspirational and motivated people and students that I've ever met. So that was really incredible. And so I worked at a school called the Gashora Girls Academy for Science and Technology. And when I worked there, some of the students were just amazing. And so I would like to share a story with you about one particular student. Her name is Anatha, and she is a very unique student because in Rwanda, women are not really allowed to be educated, and obviously that's a big problem for many reasons. But one of the biggest reasons is that education gets you out of poverty. So excluding women in that process has been a really big problem. But to Rwanda's credit, they have done incredible things, and since the 1994 genocide, things have really improved. Things are actually a lot better. And one of the reasons it's much better is because of female empowerment. And so Anatha is a perfect representative of this because when she was younger, before she came to our high school, the high school that I worked at, she saw little boys going to school and talked to her dad, and she said, "Dad, I want to go to school." And her dad said, "Okay, go ahead and try." So she did. So she walked 2 hours to school every single day, 2 hours back, and she would get to school and her feet would be bloody because she didn't have shoes, and the students would tease her because she only had one dusty dress, but she went and she rocked it. And so after a while her parents started to support her because she was doing really amazing. But the villagers, which is the case with a lot of villages in Rwanda and across Africa, did not support that. So they talked to her parents and they said, "Hey, you need to stop Anatha from going to school. She needs to be cooking and cleaning and waiting to be wet." Keep in mind that Anatha is really young at this age, so that's a common problem. But she kept going, and she was really impressing her teachers and doing an amazing job. She started reading better than her brother, who had been going to school for several years already, so she's really amazing. So then her villagers, to try to stop her from going to school, burned down her family's entire crops, which is their livelihood. So the family started to kind of suffer, but they realized that Anatha was such an important investment that they kept supporting her and she kept going. And then our school heard about this amazing young woman, and so we got her a scholarship to come to our school, and she graduated in this last fall. So so she graduated, and she was aspiring to be a doctor, and now the villages are starting to see that, wow, this is amazing, and girls should have opportunities too. So it's a pretty cool thing, and if you want to learn more about Rwanda Girls Initiative, you can go to rwandagirlsinitiative.org, or you can check out some of the pamphlets outside of the table, and thank you guys so much for this. This is amazing, thank you.
Everyone here tonight for coming out to the show and giving us all of your support. Now, without further delay, we would like to ask you to silence your cell phones, lean back, and enjoy the Vagina Monologues.
I bet you're worried.
We were worried.
We were worried about vaginas.
We were worried what we think about vaginas, and even more worried that we don't think about them. We were worried about our own vaginas. They needed a context of other vaginas, a community, a culture of vaginas. There's so much darkness and secrecy surrounding them, like the Bermuda Triangle. Nobody ever reports back from there.
In the first place, it's not so easy to even find your vagina. Some women go weeks, months, even years without looking at it. A high-powered businesswoman was interviewed, and she said she didn't have the time for that. She was busy. Looking at your vagina, she said, it's a full day's work. You have to get down there, on your back, in front of a mirror that's standing on its own, fully preferred. You have to get in the perfect position, in the perfect light, which is then somehow obscured by the mirror and the angle you're at. You get all twisted up. You're arcing your head up, killing your back. She said she didn't have time for that. She was busy.
There were vagina interviews, which became Vagina Monologues. Over 200 women were interviewed. There were older women, younger women. I have a list. Married women, lesbians, single women, college professors, actors, corporate professionals, sex workers, African American women, Asian American women, Hispanic women, Native American women, Caucasian women, Jewish women, Catholic women. Okay, at first women were a little bit reluctant to talk. They were shy, but once they started talking about their vaginas, they couldn't stop. Women secretly loved to talk about their vaginas. They got all excited. Most of these no one had ever asked about them before.
Let's just start with the word vagina. Sounds like an infection at best. Maybe a medical instrument. Hurry, nurse! Bring me the vagina!
Vagina!
Vagina, vagina. Doesn't matter how many times you say it, it's never a word you want to say. It's a totally ridiculous, completely unsexy word. You use it during sex, trying to be politically correct. Darling, could you stroke my vagina? You'll kill the act right there.
So, we're worried about vaginas, what we call them and what we don't call them.
In Great Neck, New York, they call it a pussycat. A woman said that her mother used to tell her not to wear underwear underneath her pajamas because, darling, you need to air out your pussycat.
In Westchester, they call it a pookie.
In New Jersey, they call it a lady garden.
There's powder box, pee-pee, poopy, punani, pal, a pinch,
Toady, Dee-dee, Dignity, Monkey Box.
Coochie snorcher, cooter, lady.
Gladys Siegelman,
VA, wee-wee, horse spot, nappy, dugout.
A mongo, mookie, fanny boo, mushmallow.
a ghoulie, possible, tamale, Connie,
And of course, hoo-ha.
down there.
A box.
We're worried about vaginas.
Some of the monologues are based on one woman's story. Some of the monologues are based on several women's stories surrounding the same theme. And a few times, a good idea became an outrageous one. This monologue is based on one woman's story, although the subject was brought up in every interview was often fraud. The subject being hair.
You cannot love a vagina unless you love hair. Many people do not love hair. My first and only husband hated hair. He said that it was cluttered and dirty. He made me shave my vagina. It looked puffy and exposed and like a little girl. When he made love to me, my vagina felt the way a beard must feel. It felt good to rub it, and yet painful, like scratching a mosquito bite. It felt like it was on fire. There were screaming red bumps. I refused to shave it again. Then my husband had an affair. When we went to marital therapy, he said he screwed around because I wouldn't please him sexually. I wouldn't shave my vagina. The therapist had a thick German accent and gasped between sentences to show her empathy. She asked me why I didn't want to please my husband. Why I didn't want to shave my vagina. there was gone, and the skin got all irritated, and even calamine lotion wouldn't help it. She told me that marriage was a compromise. I asked her if shaving my vagina would stop my husband from screwing around. I asked her if she had had many cases like this before. She told me that questions diluted the process. I needed to jump in. She was sure this was a good beginning. Then, later, when we got home, he got to shave my vagina. It was like a therapy bonus prize. He clipped it a few times and there was a little blood in the bathtub. But he didn't even notice because he was so happy shaving me. Then, later, I could feel his spiky sharpness sticking into me. My naked, puffy vagina. There was no protection. There was no fluff. It was then that I realized that hair is there for a reason. It's the leaf around the flower. It's the lawn around the house. You have to love hair in order to love the vagina. You can't pick the parts you want. And besides, my husband, he never stopped screwing around.
All of the women were asked the following questions.
If your vagina got dressed,
What would it wear?
Glasses, a beret, leather jacket, silk stockings, mink, a pink boa.
A male tuxedo, jeans, something form-fitting,
Emeralds, an evening gown, sequins,
Armani only.
I'll teach you.
see-through, black underwear. Oh yeah, ladies.
A taffeta ball gown? Something machine washable.
Costume eye mask, purple velvet pajamas, Angora,
A red bow, ermine and pearls, a leopard hat, a silk kimono, sweatpants, a tattoo.
An electrical shock device to keep unwanted strangers away?
high heels, lace, and combat boots, purple feathers, twigs, and chips,
Cotton, a pinafore,
A bikini.
a slicker.
If your vagina can talk, what would it say? 2 words.
Slow down. I like it like that. Is that you?
Feed me! I want! Yum, yum. Oh, yeah!
Start again. No, over there. Lick me. Stay home. Ooh, brave choice.
Think again. More, please. Embrace me. Let's play.
Don't stop, get it?
I will.
More! Okay, stop. Remember me?
Whoa, not yet, not yet. Whoa, Mom. Yes, yes. Rock me.
Enter at your own risk.
Oh God, thank God, I'm here. Let's go, let's go. Find me.
Thank you. Bonjour. Too hard! Wait, don't give up, don't give up.
Dude, where's Brian? That's better. Yes, there.
A group of women between the ages of 65 and 75 was interviewed. These interviews were the most poignant, possibly because many of these women had never had a vagina interview before. One woman, who was 72, had never even seen her vagina. She washed herself in the bath and shower, but never with conscious intention. She never had an orgasm. At 72, she went to therapy, as they do in New York. And with the help of her therapist, she went home one afternoon, took a bath, lit some candles, played some music, and she got down with herself. She said it took her over an hour because she was arthritic. But when she finally found her clitoris, she cried. This monologue is for her.
Down there? Oh, well, I haven't been down there since 1953. No, it had nothing to do with Eisenhower. No, it's a cellar down there. Very damp, clammy. No, you don't want to go down there, trust me. You'd get sick. The smell of the clamminess and the mildew. Woo, the smell is unbearable. It gets in your clothes. Down there. It didn't blow up or catch on fire or anything. No, it wasn't so dramatic. I mean, oh, well, never mind. No, never mind. No, what is a smart girl like you going around talking to old ladies about their down there's for? We did not do this kind of thing when I was a girl. What? Ah, Jesus. Okay. Well, there was boy, Andy Leftcloth. Oh, he was cute and tall like me, and oh, I really liked him. He asked me out for a date in his car, and oh, no, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. I can't talk to you without down there. You just know it's there, like the cellar. You hear rumbles, and you can hear the pipes, and well, things get caught there, little animals and things. Plug up the leaks. Otherwise, the door stays closed. You'll forget about it. I mean, it's part of the house, but you don't have to see it or think about it. Well, every house needs a cellar, though, otherwise the bedroom would be in the basement. Andy. Andy Leftcloth, right. Oh, Andy was a catch. That's what we called it in my day. We were in his car, a new white Chevy Bel Air. I remember thinking that my legs were too long for the seats. I have long legs. So I was looking at my big kneecaps when, well, he just kissed me in this surprisingly take me by control like they do in the movies kind of a way, and, well, I got excited. So excited, and, well, there was a flood down there. It was just this force of passion, this river of life just flooded out of me, right through my I wanted to explain to him that his kiss had caught me off guard. I wasn't normally like this. I tried to wipe the flood up with my dress. It was a new yellow primrose dress, and it looked so ugly with the flood on it. And he drove me home without another word, and when I got out of his car and closed the door, I closed the whole store. Never opened for business again. Well, I dated some after that, but the thought of flooding, it just made me too nervous. I never even got close again. I used to have dreams. Crazy dreams. Oh, they're dopey. Why? Burt Reynolds. I don't know why. He never did much for me in life, but in my dreams. It was always Burt and I. Oh, Burt and I, Burt and I. We would be out, Burt and I. It was some restaurant like the kind you see in Atlantic City, all big with the chandeliers and stuff, and thousands of waiters with the vests on. He would give me this orchid corsage. I'd pin it on my blazer. We would laugh. Oh, we were always laughing, Burt and I. Laughing, laughing. We would eat shrimp. Huge shrimp. Fabulous shrimp. We would laugh more. Oh, we were very happy together. Then he would pull me to him in the middle of the room. And just as he was about to kiss me, the whole restaurant would start to shake. Pigeons would fly out from underneath the table. I don't know what those pigeons were doing there. And the flood would pour out of me. It would pour, and, well, there would be little fish in it, and boats. And the whole restaurant would fill with my blood. And there would be Burt standing waist deep in it, looking horribly disappointed that I had done it again. Looking horrified as he watched his friends, Dean Martin and the like, swim past in their receiver. I don't have dreams like that anymore. Well, not since they took away just about everything connected with down there. Moved out the uterus, the tubes, the whole works. The doctor thought he was being funny. He said, if you don't use it, you lose it. But really, I found out it was cancer. Everything around it had to go. Who needs it anyway? It's highly overrated. I have done other things. I love the dog shows. I sell antiques. What would it wear? Well, what kind of question is that? What would it wear? It would wear a big sign, closed due to flooding. What would it say? No, I told you, it's not like that. It's not like a person who speaks. No, it stopped being a thing that talked a long time ago. It's a place you don't go. It's closed up, under the house. It's down there. Are you happy? You got it out of me. You got an old lady to talk about her down there. Do you feel better now? Well, actually, you're the first person I ever told about this, and well, I guess I feel a little better.
My vagina is a shell, a round, pink, tender shell, opening and closing, closing and opening. My vagina is a flower, an eccentric tulip, the center acute and deep, the scent delicate, the petals gentle but sturdy. I did not always know this. I learned this at the Vagina Workshop. I learned this from a woman who runs the Vagina Workshop, who believes in vaginas, who really sees vaginas, who helps other women see their own vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. In the first session, we were told to examine our vaginas with hand mirrors and then verbally report to the group what we saw. vagina was based on hearsay or invention. I had never really seen the thing. It never occurred to me to look at it. It seemed so reductive and awkward looking at our vaginas like we were with our hand mirrors. It reminded me of how the early astronomers must have felt with their primitive telescopes. I found it quite unsettling at first, my vagina, like the first time you see a fish cut open and you discover this other bloody, complex world inside, right under the skin. It was so raw, so red, so fresh. And the thing that surprised me most was all the layers. Layers inside layers that opened into more layers. My vagina amazed me. I couldn't speak when it came to my turn in the workshop. I was speechless. I had awakened to what the woman who ran the workshop described as vaginal wonder. I just wanted to lay on my mat examining my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon, ancient and full of grace. It had the freshness and innocence of a proper English garden. It was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could hide and sneak, open and close. And then the woman who ran the workshop asked how many women had had orgasms. 2 women tentatively raised their hand. I didn't raise my hand, although I had had orgasms. I didn't raise my hand because they were accidental orgasms. They happened to me. They would happen in my dream and I would wake in a splendor. They happened water, mostly in the bath. They happened on horses, on bicycles, on the treadmill at the gym. I didn't raise my hand because, although I had had orgasms, I didn't know how to make one happen. I thought it was a mystical, magical thing. I didn't want to interfere. It felt wrong. It felt Hollywood. The surprise would be gone in the mystery. The problem, of course, is that the surprise had been gone for 2 years. I hadn't had a magical accidental orgasm in a long time, and I was frantic. That's why I was at the Vagina workshop. And then the moment had arrived that I both dreaded and longed for. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors again and locate our clitoris. We were there, the group of us women, on our backs, on our mats, searching for our spots, our focus, our reason. And I don't know why I started crying. Maybe it was from sheer embarrassment. Maybe it was knowing that I had to give up the fantasy, the enormous life-consuming fantasy that someone or something was coming to do this for me. That someone was coming to lead my life, to choose direction, to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming, the simultaneous terror and realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris, had rationalized as mainstream and consumerist because I was in fact terrified I did not have a clitoris. That I was one of those constitutionally incapables, one of those frigid, dead, dry, shut down, apricot-tasting bits of, oh my God! I lay there on my mat, and all I could think about was the time when I was 10 and I lost my gold ring with the emeralds in the lake. How I kept diving over and over to the bottom of the lake, running my hands over fish and bottle caps and slimy stuff, but never my ring. The panic I felt, I knew I'd be punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane scrambling and heavy breathing. She came over. I cried, "It's gone! It's gone! I lost my clitoris! I shouldn't have woman swimming!" clitoris. I had to be it. Be it. Be my clitoris. Be my clitoris. I lay back and close my eyes, put the hand near down. I watched myself as I floated above myself. I watched myself as I re-entered. It was very quiet, this re-entry, quiet but gentle. I bounced and landed and bounced. I came into my own blood and muscles and cells, and then I slid into my vagina. It was suddenly easy and I fit. It was all warm and young and pulsing and ready and alive, and then, with my eyes still closed, I put my hand on what had suddenly become me. There was a little quivering at first, which urged me to stay. The quivering became a quake, an eruption, the layers dividing and subdividing. The quake broke open onto an ancient horizon of light and silence, which broke onto a plane of music and colors and innocence and longing, and I felt connection, calling connection as I lay there threshing about in my little blue mat. My vagina is a shell, a tulip and a destiny. I am arriving as I am beginning to leave. My vagina, me.
Here is a vagina happy fact. This is from Woman and Intimate Geography by Natalie Andre. The clitoris is pure in purpose. It is the only organ in the body designed purely for pleasure. It is simply a bundle of nerve fibers, 8,000 nerve fibers to be precise. That's a higher concentration of nerve fibers than is found anywhere else in the male or female body, including fingertips, lips, tongue, and twice the number in the penis. So who needs a handgun when you have a semi-automatic?
This monologue is dedicated to a woman who had a good experience with a man.
Is the story of how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing, I know, because it's not politically correct. I know, it should have happened in the bath with salt grains from the Dead Sea, Celine Dion playing, Love and My Woman Self. I know. I've heard it all, like, vaginas are beautiful, and you know, our self-hatred's only the repression and the hatred of the patriarchal culture. It's not real. And of course, pussies unite! Yeah, I've heard it all. Like, if we had grown up in a culture where fat thighs were considered beautiful, we would spend our days laying on our backs, pounding milkshakes, eating donuts, thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture. I hated my thighs, and I hated my vagina even more. I found it to be incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who decided to take a peek down there and instantly regretted it. It kind of made me sick, and I pitied anybody who had to go down there. But in order to survive, I began to think of other things between my legs, like furniture, futons with cozy comforters, little velvet settees, leopard rugs, or pretty things like silk handkerchiefs and frosted glass candle holders, designer bags. I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of even having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I imagined him inside a pretty gold bangle or a Kuchan bag. But that's when I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I had ever met. He was tall, thin, nondescript. He wore khaki tan clothes. He didn't like spicy food or listen to Prince. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he was one of those guys that spent time in the shade. He didn't share his inner feelings. He didn't have any problems, issues. He wasn't an alcoholic. He wasn't particularly funny or mysterious or articulate. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't charming or self-involved. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I probably would have missed him altogether if he hadn't handed me my change off the deli room floor. But when his hand and my hand brushed when he gave me back my change, something happened. We went to bed together. But that's when the miracle occurred. Turned out Bob loved vaginas. You could kind of say he was a connoisseur. He liked the way they felt, the way they smelled, the way they tasted, but especially the way that they looked. The first time we had sex together, he told me he had to see me. I'm right here, Bob, I said. No, I have to see what you look like, he said. Turn on the light, I said, thinking he might have been a weirdo freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light. Okay, I'm ready to see you, he said. I'm right here. I'm right here, Bob. He began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? I need to see what you look like, he said. Can you just do it? Can you just stick it in? I said. No, I really need to see what you look like, he said. But haven't you seen a Louis Vuitton clutch before? He continued. He wouldn't stop. I wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, I said. Can't we just get it over with? No. I need to see you, who you are. I held my breath. He looked and looked and looked. His face began to change. He got all breathy and flushed. He didn't look so ordinary anymore. He kind of looked like a hungry beast. You are so beautiful and innocent, elegant and wild, he said. You saw that? There? It was like he was reading my palm or something. Yes, and much, much more. He stayed looking like that for almost an hour. If he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes, but it was my vagina. In the dim light, I watched him watching me with such genuine excitement, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get a little turned on. I began to see myself the way that Bob saw me. Beautiful and majestic, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't grossed out. Bob wasn't afraid. I began to feel proud, began to love my vagina. And Bob, he lost himself there. And I was with him, in my vagina, and we were gone.
UNICEF's 2005 report, Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting, a Statistical Exploration. Female genital mutilation has been inflicted on nearly 130 million girls and young women. In the 28 countries where it is practiced, girls can expect the knife or razor blade or glass shard to cut their clitoris or remove it completely. In a man, this would equate to amputation of part of the penis to removal of all of the penis. Short-term results include tetanus, hemorrhaging, and cuts in the urethra, bladder, and vaginal walls. Long-term results include chronic uterine infection, increased agony and danger during childbirth, and early deaths.
My vagina is angry. It is. It's pissed off. My vagina is furious, and it needs to talk. It needs to talk about all of this shit. It needs to talk to you. What is it with an army of people out there thinking up ways to torture my poor ass, gentle, loving vagina, spending their days constructing psychoproducts and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy, vagina, motherfuckers. All this shit they're constantly trying to shove up us, clean us up, stuff us up, make it go away. Well, my vagina is not going away. My vagina is pissed off, and it's here to stay. Like tampons. What the hell is that? A dry wad of fucking cotton stuffed up there. Lubricates a tampon. As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. It says, forget it, and it closes right on. You have got to work with the vagina, prepare the way. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what foreplay is all about. You've got to seduce my vagina, convince my vagina, engage my vagina's trust, and you can't do that with a dry wad of fucking cotton. Stop shoving things up me. Stop shoving and stop trying to clean it up. My vagina don't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. That's what they're trying to do. Trying to make it smell like a bathroom spray or a garden. All those douche sprays, floral, berry, rain. I don't want my pussy to smell like rain. That's like washing the fish after you cooked it. I want to taste the fish. That is why I ordered it. Then there are those exams. Don't you hate those? There has got to be a better way to do those exams. Why the scary paper dress that scratches your tits and crunches when you lie down? So you feel like a dry fucking wad of paper someone just threw away. Why the flashlight all up in there like Nancy fucking Drew? Why the rubber gloves? Why the Nazi steel syrup? Why the mean, cold duck lips they shove up inside of you? My vagina is angry about those visits. It gets defensive weeks in advance. It won't go out of the house. And then you get there, don't you hate that? I need you to scoop down and relax your vagina. Why? So you can shove mean cold duck lips inside of it already? Why can't they find some nice, delicious purple velvet and wrap them in it? Lay me down on some feathery cotton spread, put on a pair of pink or blue gloves, and rest my feet in some fur-covered stirrups. Warm up the duck lips!
underwear. That's the worst. Thong underwear. It moves around all the time and gets stuck at the back of your crusty butt. Vaginas are meant to be loose and wide, not held together. That's why girdles are so bad. They're meant to move and spread and talk and talk. Vaginas need comfort. Make something like that. Something to give them pleasure. But no. Wouldn't want to see a woman having pleasure, would you? Particularly sexual pleasure. I mean, make a nice pair of soft cotton panties with a little French tickler built in. Women would be coming all day long. They'd be coming in the supermarket. Need some green It wants to get out more. It wants to read and know things. It wants sex. It loves sex. It wants to go deeper. It hungers for depth. It wants change. It wants kindness. It wants silence and freedom and gentle kisses and warm liquids and deep touch. It wants chocolate. It wants to scream! It wants to stop being angry. It wants to come. It wants to want. It wants. My vagina, well, it wants everything.
Bosnian women refugees were interviewed during the war in Yugoslavia in refugee camps and centers. 20 to 70,000 women were raped in the middle of Europe as a systematic tactic of war. It was shocking to see how little people did to stop it. But then again, each year, in the United States, 200,000 women are raped each year. This monologue is for that woman. We do it tonight for that woman and the extraordinary woman of Bosnia and Kosovo.
My vagina was green water, soft pink fields, cow milling, sun resting, sweet boyfriend touching lightly with a soft piece of blonde straw. There is something between my legs. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I do not touch. Not now, not anymore. Not since. My vagina was chatting. Can't wait. So much saying, words talking. Can't quit trying, can't quit saying, oh yes. Oh yes. Not since I dream there's a dead animal sewn in down there with thick black fishing line. And the bad dead animal smell cannot be removed. And its throat is slit and it bleeds through all my summer dresses.
My vagina's singing all girl songs, all wild autumn field songs, all vagina songs, vagina home songs.
Not since the soldiers shoved a long, thick rifle inside me, so cold, the steel rod canceling my heart. Don't know whether they're going to fire it or shove it through my spinning brain. 6 of them. Montrose doctors wearing black masks, shoving bottles at me too. There were sticks at the end of a broom.
My vagina's swimming river water, clean, spilling water over sun-baked stones, over stone clit stones over and over.
Not since I heard the skin tear and make lemon screeching sounds, not since a piece of my vagina came off in my hand, part of the lip. Now one side of the lip is completely gone.
My vagina, a live, wet water village. My vagina, my hometown.
Not since they took turns for 7 days smelling of feces and smoked meat. They left their dirty sperm inside me. I became a river of poison and pus. And all the crops died, and the fish.
My vagina, a live, wet water village.
They invaded it, butchered it, burned it down.
I do not touch anymore, do not visit.
I live someplace else now. I don't know where that is.
In hundreds of interviews with homeless women over the course of 13 years, only one woman was not sexually abused as a young girl or raped as a young woman. For most of these women, home is a very scary place, a place they have fled. The shelters are ironically the first places many of them ever find safety, protection, or comfort. This is one woman's story as she told it. What isn't in the story is the fact that this woman met another woman in a shelter and they fell in love. And through their love, they both got out of the shelter system.
Memory, December 1965, 5 years old. My mama tells me in a loud, scary, life-threatening voice to stop scratching my coochie snorcher. I become terrified. I've scratched it off down there. I do not touch myself again, not even in the bath. I am afraid that water is going to get up inside me and fill me up till I explode. I try putting Band-Aids over my coochie hole, but they fall off in the water. I imagine a bathtub plug, a stopper up there to prevent things from getting inside. I wear 3 pairs of Happy Hot patent cotton underpants underneath my snap-up pajamas. I want to touch myself sometimes, but I don't. Memory, 7 years old. Edgar Montaigne. He is 10. He gets angry at me and punches me right between my legs. It feels like he breaks my entire self. I limp home. I can't pee. My mama asks me what is wrong with my coochie snorcher. I tell her what Edgar did to me, and she tells me to never, ever let anyone touch me between my legs again. I try to explain that, Mama, he didn't touch it, he punched it. Memory, 10 years old. I'm at my father's house, and he's having a party upstairs. Everybody's drinking. I'm playing alone in the basement. I'm trying on my new white bra and cotton underpants my father's girlfriend gave me. Suddenly, my father's best friend, Alfred, is behind me. He pulls down the new underpants and he sticks his big, hard penis inside my coochie snorcher. I try to fight him off. I scream, I kick, but he already gets it inside. Suddenly, my father's there with a gun. There's this horrible noise. There's blood everywhere, all over Alfred and all over me. Alfred is paralyzed for life. My mama doesn't let me see my father again for 7 years. Memory. 13 years old. My coochie snorcher is a place of pain, nastiness, punching, invasion, blood. It is, aside from mishaps, it is a bad luck zone. I imagine a highway between my legs, taking me far away from here. Memory. 16 years old. There's this gorgeous 24-year-old woman in my neighborhood. One day, she asked me to come inside of the car. And she asked me if I like to kiss boys. I tell her I do not like that. Then she says she wants to show me something. She leans in and softly, gently, she kisses me on the lips. And then she puts her tongue inside my mouth. Wow. Then she asked me if I want to come to her apartment. Then she kissed me again. She tells me to relax, to feel it, to let our tongues feel it. She asked my mama if I can come over. My mama is delighted that such a gorgeous, successful woman has taken an interest in me. I'm scared and I can't wait. Her apartment is fantastic. It's the 70s and she's got it hooked up. There's the beads and the fluffy pillows and the moonlight. I decided right then and there that I want to be a secretary, just like her when I grow up. She pours herself a vodka and she asks me what I'll have to drink. I say the same, and she says she does not think my mother would like me drinking vodka. I say, well, I don't think she'd like me kissing girls either. And the pretty lady pours me a drink. Then she changes into this chocolate satin teddy. She is gorgeous. I always thought old daggers were ugly, but then I tell her, you look great. She says, so cute. I say, but all I've got on is white cotton brown underpants. And then she dresses me slowly in another teddy, lavender, like the first soft days of spring. There's this picture over her bed of a naked black woman with a big afro. She lays me down gently and slowly, and just our bodies rubbing together makes me come. Then she does everything to me, and my coochie snorcher I always thought was nasty before. And then she tells me, your vagina, untouched by man, smells so nice, so fresh. Wish I could keep it that way forever. I'm wild. I'm crazy. I'm ready. And then the phone rings. It's my mom. She knows. She catches me at everything. I try to act normal, not breathing crazy. When I pick up the phone, she asks me, what you been doing? You been running? I say, no, mama, exercising. And she tells the secretary to make sure that I'm not around any boys. Secretary says, do not worry that I know boys around here. Afterwards, the pretty lady, she shows me everything about my coochie snorkel. She has me play with myself in front of her. She teaches me all the ways to make myself happy. She says I always should know how to pleasure myself, so I never need to rely on a man. In the morning, I think I've become a butch because I'm so in love with her. She laughs, but I never see her again. Later, I realized that she was my surprising, unexpected salvation. She transformed my sorry-ass coochie snorcher into a kind of heaven.
vagina-friendly cities. Welcome, Missoula. They are wild for vaginas in Pittsburgh. In fact, a woman from Pittsburgh was obsessed with a particular word, a pejorative word used to describe the vagina. Her mission was to reclaim that word. I call it cunt. I've reclaimed it. Cunt. I really like it. Cunt. Listen to it. Cunt. C. 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 Cavern. Cackle. Cute. Clipped. Come close. Closed. Inside. Then you. Then coup. Then curvy, inviting sharkskin you. Uniform, under, up, urge, you. Then N. Then kun. Snug letters fitting perfectly together. N. Nest. Now. Nexus. Nice. Always depth. Always round in uppercase. Kun. A jagged, wicked electrical pulse. Then soft and warm and kun. Then tea. Then sharp, certain, tangy tea. Texture, tape, tent, tight, tantalizing, tensing, taste, tendrils, time, tactile. Tell me, cunt, say it. Tell me, cunt.
A 6-year-old girl was asked, if your vagina got dressed, what would it wear?
Red high tops and a Mets cap worn backwards.
If your vagina can speak, what would it say?
It would say words that begin with the letters V and T. Total and violin are examples.
What does your vagina remind you of?
A pretty dark peach. Or a diamond I found from a treasure, and it's mine.
What is special about your vagina?
Somewhere deep inside, it has a really, really smart brain.
What does it smell like?
Snowflakes.
My short skirt is not an invitation, a provocation, an indication that I want it, or give it, or that I hook. My short skirt isn't begging for it. It does not want you to rip it off me or pull it down. My short skirt is not a legal reason for raping me. Although it has been in the past, it will not hold up in the new court. My short skirt, believe it or not, has nothing to do with you. My short skirt is about discovering the power of my lower calves, about letting cool autumn air travel up my inner thighs,
about letting everything I see, pass, or feel to live inside. My short skirt is not proof that I am stupid, or undecided, or a malleable little girl. My short skirt is my defiance. I will not let you make me afraid. My short skirt isn't showing off. This is who I am before you made me cover it or tone it down. Get used to it. My short skirt is happiness. I can feel myself on the ground. I am here. I am hot. My short skirt is the liberation flag of the women's army. I declare these streets, any streets, my vagina's country. My short skirt is turquoise water with swimming colored fish, a summer festival in the starry dark, a bird calling, a train arriving in a foreign town. My short skirt is a full breath, a wild spin, a tango dip. My short skirt is initiation, appreciation, excitation. But mainly, my short skirt and everything under it is mine, mine, mine.
Sex workers have rich, compelling, complex relationships with their vaginas. This particular woman blows me away. She was a sex worker, but she only did sex work with women.
Vaginas. I love women. I do not see them as separate things. Women pay me to dominate them, to excite them, to make them come. I did not start out like this. No, to the contrary, I started out as a lawyer. But in my late 30s, I became obsessed with making women happy. It began as a mission of sorts. But then I got involved in it. I got very good at it. Kind of brilliant. It was my art. I started getting paid for it. It was as if I had found my calling. I wore outrageous outfits when I dominated women. Lace and silk and leather. And I used props. Whips, handcuffs, rope, dildos. There was nothing like this in tax law. There was no excitement, and I hated those blue corporate suits. Although I wear them now from time to time in my new line of work, they serve quite nicely. There were no props in corporate law, no wetness, no dark, mysterious foreplay, no erect nipples, no delicious mouths. But mainly, there was no moaning. Not the kind I'm talking about, anyway. This was the key I see now. Moaning was the thing that ultimately seduced me and got me addicted to making women happy. When I was a little girl, and I would see women in the movies making love, making strange, orgasmic moaning noises, I used to laugh. I got strangely hysterical. I couldn't believe that big, outrageous, ungoverned sounds like that came out of women. I longed to moan. I practiced in front of my mirror with a tape recorder, moaning in various keys, in various tones, but always when I played it back, it sounded fake. It was fake. It wasn't rooted in anything sexual, really. only in my desire to be sexual. But then when I was 10, I had to pee really badly once on a car trip. It went on for almost an hour, and when I finally got to pee in this dirty little gas station, I was so excited. I moaned. I moaned as I peed. I couldn't believe it. Me, moaning in a Texaco station in the middle of Louisiana. I realized then that moaning is connected with not getting what you want right away, with putting things off. Moans were best when they caught you by surprise, when they came out of this hidden, mysterious part of you that was speaking its own language. I realized that moans were, in fact, that language. I became a moaner. It made most men anxious. Frankly, it terrified them. I was loud and they couldn't concentrate on what they were doing. They'd lose focus, and then they'd lose everything. We couldn't make love in people's homes. The walls were too thin. I got a reputation in my building, and people stared at me with contempt in the elevator. Men thought I was too intense. Some called me insane. I began to feel bad about moaning. I got quiet and polite. I made noise into a pillow. I learned to choke my moan, to hold it back, like a sneeze. I began to get headaches and stress-related disorders. I was becoming hopeless when I discovered women. I discovered that most women loved my moaning. And more importantly, I discovered how deeply excited I got when other women moaned. When I was responsible for other women moaning. I made love to quiet women. I found this place inside them, and they shocked themselves in their moaning. I made love to moaners, and they found a deeper, more penetrating moan. It was a kind of surgery, kind of delicate science, finding the tempo, the exact location or home of the moan. That's what I called it. Sometimes I found it over a woman's jeans. Sometimes I snuck up on it, off the record, quietly disarming surrounding alarms and moving in. Sometimes I used force, but not violent, oppressing force, more like dominating. I'm going to take you someplace. Don't worry, lay back and enjoy the ride kind of force. Sometimes it was simply mundane. I found the moan before things even started, while we were eating salad or chicken, just casual, just right there with my fingers. Here it is like that, real simple, in the kitchen, all mixed in with the balsamic vinegar. Sometimes I used props. I loved props. Sometimes I made the woman find her own moan in front of me. I waited, stuck it out, until she opened herself. I wasn't fooled by the minor, more obvious moans. No, I pushed her further, all the way into her power moan. There's the clit moan. The vaginal moan. The combo clit vaginal moan. There's the almost moan.
wasp moan. The New Yorker moan.
Oh, yeah!
There's the Irish Catholic moan.
Oh, God! Jesus! Mary Joseph! Oh,
There's the mountaintop moan. The baby moan. The doggy moan. The uninhibited, militant, bisexual moan. The machine gun moan. The tortured Zen moan. The diva moan. Yes,
present for the birth of her granddaughter. She was in awe of vaginas before this moment. She is in deep worship now.
I was there when her vagina opened. We were all there. Her mother, her husband and I, and the nurse from the Ukraine with her whole hand up there in her vagina, turning and feeling with her rubber glove as she stood calmly talking to us, as if she were turning on a loaded faucet. I was there when the pain from the contractions made her crawl on all fours, made unfamiliar moans leak out of her pores, and still there, hours later, when she screamed, suddenly wild, her arms flailing at the electric air. I was there when her vagina changed from a shy sexual hole into an archaeological tunnel, a sacred vessel, a Venetian canal, a deep well with a tiny child stuck inside, waiting to be rescued. I was there. I saw the colors of her vagina. They changed. I saw the bruised, broken blue, the blistering tomato red, the gray pink, the dark, saw the blood like perspiration along the edges, the white liquid, the yellow, the shit, the clots coming out of every hole, pushing harder and harder. I looked into her and saw the baby's head, a scratch of black hair, just there behind the bone, a hard, round memory. And the nurse from the Ukraine still turning and turning her slippery hand. I was there when each of us, her mother and I, grabbed a leg and spread her wide, pushing with all of our strength against her pushing, and her husband sternly counting 1, 2, 3, telling her to focus harder. We looked into her then. We got lost in that place. We forget the vagina, all of us. What else could explain our lack of awe, our lack of reverence? I was there when the doctor reached into her with Alice in Wonderland spoons, and her vagina became a wide, operatic mouth singing with all its strength. First the little head, then a gray flopping arm, and a fast-swimming body swimming quickly into our weeping arms. I stood back then and let myself see her, spread wide, completely exposed, torn, broken, mutilated, and swollen, bleeding all over the doctor's hands who was calmly sewing her there. I stood, and suddenly her vagina became a wide, red heart. The heart is capable of great sacrifice. So is the vagina. The heart can forgive and repair. It can change shape to let us in. It can expand to let us out. It can ache for us and stretch for us, die for us and bleed us into this difficult, wondrous world. I was there in the room. I remember. Until the most marginalized were held in the center.
Until the doctor connected.
The silence is broken.
And the story is told.
until each part of the struggle is integrated and whole,
until the law is a breathing thing,
until every violence is part of the violence we seek to end,
until every caste, every race, every sexuality and gender, until there is one story,
until we stop forcing women into buildings on the verge of collapse, or garbage sites, or back alleys just to make a meager living,
until we stop sending raped women back to homes where they'll be raped again,
until we stop destroying and seizing the land of the indigenous,
until we honor the women who were murdered, beaten, and raped in wars. In cities, military barracks, refugee camps, in homes, in churches, colleges, in schools.
on buses, in marriage beds, in forests and working fields and offices.
Until we refuse the excavation and occupation of our bodies, bases, fields, resources, and hearts.
No more bombs, no more death, no more pain. Until every last violation is uttered.
And each hurt is shared.
Until the layers of memories and oppressions are uncovered and bared.
Until the system serves the poorest and stops protecting the mighty.
Until all are held by the same standards. Until women rise in the knowledge of their values and rights.
Outside, courthouses, police stations, government offices, workplaces, military embassies, places of worship, homes.
Until we release our shame, guilt, grief, pain, humiliation, and rage. Until apologies and reparations are made by government.
Leaders, husbands, boyfriends, brothers, fathers, priests, mullahs, ministers, uncles, bosses, corporate heads.
Until we refuse to accept anything that doesn't include all. 1 billion people rise for justice.
Women on the planet will be raped or beaten in her lifetime. 1 billion women violated is an atrocity. 1 billion people dancing is a revolution. 1 billion people in 207 countries rose on February 14, 2013, harnessing their collective power to continue rising and demanding an end to violence against women and girls once and for all. 1 Billion Rising succeeded in creating visibility and understanding of the interconnection between issues such as poverty, corruption, greed, environmental plunder, imperialism, religious marginalization, immigration, labor, political repression, and violence against women. This year, we're calling on women and men everywhere to harness their power and imagination to rise for justice. Today, women, men released their stories and danced and spoke out at the places where they need justice, where they need an end to violence against women and girls. So you may ask, why dance? Why? Well, dancing insists we take up space. It has no set direction, but we go there together. It's dangerous and it's joyous, it's sexual, it's holy, it's disruptive. It breaks the rules. It can happen anywhere, at any time, with anyone and everyone. It's free. No corporation can control it. It joins us and pushes us to go further. It's contagious and it spreads quickly. It's a body and it's transcendent. Rise, release, dance.